What does it feel like when a cut goes straight to the heart of the system? For many people, the first name that comes to mind today might be Fan Zhendong. But in the history of Chinese table tennis, something like this happened long ago. The difference is, that story had another main character. Her name was Zhili. At the 1987 World Table Tennis Championships in New Delhi, just before the semifinals, the coaching staff delivered an order to Zhili. She was told to deliberately lose the match. At the time, the coaches believed it was nothing more than a routine test of obedience. But Zhili chose to refuse. She went all in, defeating her teammate Guan Jianhua, then going one step further, winning the final, and bringing the women's singles gold medal of the World Championships back to China with her own hands. Yet when she returned home, what awaited her was not praise, but condemnation. She was labeled undisciplined and accused of having no sense of organization. The championship she earned through pure ability did not protect her. Instead, it became evidence of her refusal to follow orders. What followed was exile, the bench, and the loss of her spot at the 1988 Seoul Olympics. Through an entire institutional process, the Chinese national team removed a newly crowned world champion, the world number one at the time, from its core lineup. They cut loose their strongest player, not because she wasn't good enough, but because she didn't obey. If the story ended there, it would have been just another sharp edge ground down inside the system. But Zhili proved something else. A true main artery, even when severed, will still make the entire body feel the pain. 7 years after being cast aside, the 1994 Hiroshima Asian Games delivered her return. At 30 years old, under the Japanese name Xiao Shan Zhili, she walked onto the court wearing the uniform of Team Japan. What followed was a sequence of suffocating victories, the most brutal performance review in sports history. She defeated Chen Jing, eliminated Qiaoong, and in the final, she stood across the table from Deng Yaping, the unstoppable symbol of China's absolute dominance in women's table tennis. After dropping the first game, the aging former champion took 3 straight games and reclaimed the top of the podium. With every point she won, that earth-shattering shout of Yoshi was like a heavy echo from the past. A question thrown back at that long-ago decision. What exactly did you give up? On the podium, she said it plainly. This gold medal was won for herself. Those words stripped away all grand narratives and revealed the simplest truth. When a collective, in the name of the greater good, can so easily erase the highest honor earned through talent and sweat, then fighting for oneself becomes the final and the most rightful line of defense. But the impact of this story went far beyond a single match. While preparing for her comeback in Japan, limited by the lack of elite competition, Zhili, with the help of her mentor, reached out to China and brought over a male player from the Sichuan provincial team to serve as her long-term sparring partner. That player later decided to stay in Japan. He married a former Chinese women's team player. Both eventually took Japanese citizenship and adopted Japanese names. Their child also grew up to become a Japanese athlete. His name is Tomokazu Harimoto. Many see Harimoto's rise as a testament to Japan's table tennis system. Few rewind the timeline far enough, because without Zhili being sidelined for refusing to throw a match, without her move to Japan, without rebuilding an entirely new training environment, this path simply would not exist. It all began with one refusal. A world champion was removed ahead of time. One forced departure quietly redirected an entire branch of talent flow. And years later, the consequences played out on the international stage. This is not conspiracy theory. It is the most real chain reaction in competitive sports. When a system decides to cut off one individual, the cost is rarely borne by that person alone. Looking back now, Zhili was neither simply right nor wrong. She was the first to pay the price for stepping aside for the rules. And the ripple effect she set in motion is still being felt today.